I'm going to end the presentation with some examples from the real world, where we will see how these four pillars of digital transformation converge and actually deliver value to the industries that we work in. Cloud computing, right? And without getting into the technical details, I wanted to just give you my perspective from a user perspective, how this has changed. When I started my career, cloud computing was all about moving from desktops to servers in the back office to hosted environments provided by cloud providers like Amazon, like Microsoft, etc. So that's something we all understand. From our perspective, we used to buy licenses for Microsoft Office. Now it's subscription based, right? In the previous, I don't know if you are as old as I am, when I first got Microsoft Office and I loaded it on my laptop, there were 16 CDs. I had to put one after the other into the drive so that I could install Microsoft Office. Now it's done with click of a button. In fact, the software is not on your desktop. You're actually using compute elsewhere, right? I'm going to talk about some examples later in terms of what that means for us. Big data. This is again something that has been around for a long time. Those of us who have been in IT, we have actually worked with big data, or we have been working with big data without even knowing it, right? So if you look at it, in the old, not even old, maybe 10 years back, 15 years back, we had relational data stores, right? And when we used to build applications, we used to build applications where we used to store structured data. Now, data comes in all types, right? So it's structured, it's unstructured, and more importantly, it's no longer the data, it's the context around the data. So, just to give an example, right? I make a transaction on Amazon, right? That's fine. So I buy dishwasher tablets for my dishwasher, which is what I did yesterday, right? But what is more important is my profile. What kind of profile do I have, right? Where did I buy it? At what point in time in the day did I buy it? What other things did I buy? What did I buy before? What in fact, if they want to track, right? What other customers in my profile are buying? What brands are they buying? So just this one transaction, this was what we would have stored in the past. Now we are storing other contextual data around that transaction. That's also what's driving big data, right? And why are we doing this? Because compute and storage is so cheap nowadays, right? Let me walk around a bit, right? Because I want to also be alert, right? So storage is cheap. And I talked about the example, right, where in the old days, CD after CD after CD. Now, it's not really an issue, right? And you pay for per use. So again, cloud computing, big data coming together. AI algorithms. When I was in the US, when I did my master's, I worked on AI theory in the late 90s. So we had AI, right? But we couldn't commercialize AI. The fact is, the algorithms that we see in AI applications were most probably discovered, invented in the 2000s, even in the late 1990s. What's happened today is, because we have big data, we can store it on cheap storage, we also don't need to buy anything. We have compute on demand, we have storage on demand, we have networking on demand. This means that we can now apply AI algorithms which were discovered or invented years back today, right? I think there was a speaker before me and there was a talk about ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, if you look at it, the actual details, it's a large language model. It has been trained with humongous amounts of data, right? And that's possible because, not just because of the algorithm that they're using or the LLM that they're using, it's because the other two are in place. And finally, IoT. This is very important. If you look at the trends, right? of digital transformation. When we first started talking about digital transformation, I was a consultant, right? And I used to sell digital consultant projects to customers worldwide. We used to talk about digitally transforming the workplace. So if I think there was a panel for marketeers or the marketing, the CMOs. So we looked at how do I transform the marketing office? How do I transform my finance office? How do I transform my logistics office? Right? And then more importantly, how do I bring all of this together? That was some time back. Then we said, okay, that's done. What next? And as consultants, we have to always think about new ideas, right? To be relevant, right? So that we can continue to sell our services, right? And then the next wave was you transform the front office and the extension of the front office, which is the ecosystem around the company. So it's not just how well my marketing department is performing. Fintech companies, right? Companies which exist by orchestrating transactions between companies. Companies which exist, digital marketing companies, by selling data about products and services to other companies. That was the second wave of digital transformation. So we focus not just on our company, our departments, but how do we operate across? How do we operate in the ecosystem? And finally, the third wave is when we actually look at bringing in machines, which is the IoT wave. Right? So that's the transformation that's happening in the industry. There are some detailed slides here. Just some data points. I talked about big data, talked about volume. The important thing is the variety. Right? And I talked about unstructured data. I talked about all of this. The key thing here is that people now understand the value of digital transformation is mining this. And the most important part of understanding the data is, because data is so cheap now, right? You can just store it on the cloud. So, let's say the number 29. What does it mean the temperature of the day? Does it mean my age? Does it mean the number of dishwasher tablets that I bought yesterday? That's the context. I don't know. That's probably more important. Right? So, and also, the technologies have evolved, so we can store all of this, whether it's structured data, textual data, network data, time series data, you name it. Sorry. You can store it. And the velocity, someone told me, and I read this somewhere, that since the dawn of civilization, since till, let's say, the early 2000s, the amount of data that was generated, since the dawn of civilization, since 2002, 2003, the amount of data, that's the same amount of data we're generating today per day.